Welcome to this week's episode of Coffee with the Journalist, brought to you by OnePitch. Are you curious how OnePitch can help you find relevant journalists to pitch, including some of the guests on this podcast? Head to our website at onepitch.co to learn more. Today on Coffee with the Journalist, we're joined by Yahoo Finance senior tech reporter, Allie Garfinkle. Allie covers public tech companies within the e-commerce and social media space, as well as the gig economy and labor-focused stories. During the episode, Allie talks about her two main areas of coverage at Yahoo Finance. She dissects real subject lines straight from her inbox, shares her preferences for being pitched exclusives, and more. Let's hear from Allie now.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Beck Bamberger here with Coffee with the Journalist. I hope you're here to listen to a journalist because that's what we got today. With us, in fact, we're already having a good time, Allie. I know. With us today is Allie Garfinkle. She's a senior tech reporter from Yahoo Finance up in LA. We're both sitting in the rain right now because it's been raining all up and down damn California. As we know, as pretty much the whole world knows, I think, with the coverage the rain has been getting. Anyway, Allie, I'm glad you're here. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Yeah, my aunt was actually just texting me today. Are you okay in the rain? And I was like, yes. Yes, I am.
It's the one speck in time where California has had real weather, besides being like, God forbid, in wildfires, which is not even, that's a whole other thing. Anyway, Allie, to set us off, just for those who are not as maybe familiar, what would you describe the coverage of Yahoo Finance?
Gosh, so I would say that I'd start by describing our audience, actually.
Okay.
We focus on public companies because our audience is, the way we conceive of it, retail investors. However, there's a big caveat there, which is that the Yahoo Finance audience really does seem to be everybody. I sometimes get like emails from readers and it'll be things like, we're invested in the stock market and we're retired teachers in Indiana, or I'm a security analyst in DC. So it's completely across the board. You know, we structure our coverage for retail investors primarily, but because the audience is so big, because it's 100 million every month, give or take.
I was going to say, how many are looking at Yahoo? Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's 100 million every month, give or take. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, depending on what's going on. But it's also geographically diverse. It's racially diverse. It's an incredibly vast audience. So our primary bag is public companies, and in my case, public tech companies. We can get a little bit further into exactly where I fit into the public tech company universe. But the reality is it is simultaneously very specific and very broad. And with that comes challenges when it comes to pitching me, I'm sure. But there are also a lot of, candidly, there are some incredible storytelling opportunities at Yahoo Finance that I haven't had at any other place I've ever worked.
Well, that's good. So let's now get into your beat, your specialization, Allie. At what companies do you like to hear from or about or tied to? For example, you've been doing a lot with Amazon right now and some AI stuff.
Yeah. I'm always interested to see what people pull out because you're actually exactly right, Beck. Well done. My job has, the way I see it, two primary parts. The first big part are my big tickers. So Amazon is a personal favorite of mine. I've been fascinated by Amazon since long before I was a business journalist. And when I showed up at Yahoo, I actually raised my hand and said, give me Amazon. I'll do anything. Just give me Amazon. And we can get into all the reasons I find Amazon fascinating, but it is kind of, along with a couple others, really the center, at the center of my coverage. I also do a lot in social media, which is how I ended up in AI, which is how I ended up doing metaverse stuff. My biggest ticker there is the artist formerly known as Facebook, Meta. Yeah, that's what I call it sometimes when because people don't always, it's funny because people don't always know the name change happened. Like when I'm out just like meeting friends and stuff. So I'll be like Meta, and they'll be like, what? It's which is an interesting problem in a lot of ways. But
interesting.
I'd say if you had to categorize my coverage on the public company side, it's e-commerce and social media. And And then I would say kind of from there, I do also cover some rideshare and gig economy stuff. I do a lot surrounding labor issues at all of these companies. So Yahoo Finance is actually a smaller team than you probably imagine. And I'll also frequently step in for, say, Apple coverage if something's going on and my colleague isn't around. Also, even the labor issues have been a conversation at Apple. I've also done some coverage there too. So that's kind of one side, right?
Yeah.
The other side of what I cover is, the way I like to frame it is as big questions. AI is, of course, one of those biggest questions. But because I'm here in LA, because I'm interested in entertainment and sports as well, I've also been trying to do stuff over time and build out some sources at the intersection of tech and entertainment, at this intersection of tech and sports, because there's, I think, a lot going on there that we are only just starting to understand. And I think and again, for an audience like Yahoo Finance, the audience is so broad that there's a chance that a lot of people will read the story and be interested in it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So I've been I would say there's kind of the big questions, big tickers, and then everything else.
All the big questions of tech. You're never bored. That's for damn sure. Okay. Now, what about your inbox and how are the pitches inside there?
Okay. So my inbox, one of the things I found really intriguing about doing this podcast was it struck me that the central question of this, I will get to the place where I answer your question, I promise.
Yes.
The central question of this is, how do you want to be pitched? And it forced me to actually sit down and think about it. And then, of course, the first thing you think of is your inbox. And I actually will joke with people that my inbox is the scariest place I can imagine. Like, I love I love horror movies, and like it'll be really funny. I'll be like, like my inbox versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre, take it anytime. I wasn't prepared, I would say, for the deluge of pitches I was going to receive. So number one, that's kind of the first thing that sort of hit me across the face when I joined Yahoo about a year ago. I think people are really attracted to the audience, but also don't understand it or don't understand what I do sometimes. And I think that is part of what leads to the volume. I'd say the other thing is that I'm an inbox zero kind of person.
I was just going to say, so you're not a let it ride person. Okay.
I get stressed back. I get stressed when I have like a lot of emails that I haven't answered because I'm one of those people who really wants to answer everything. What?
But do you?
Oh God, no. It's
okay.
impossible. It would be impossible. I would be so sad and like counterproductive if I was spending all my time answering absolutely everything. I think it would just drive me crazy. But at the beginning, I actually did try to. So I've actually been on a journey with my inbox, is what I would say.
Okay.
Like right now, I have 141 unread emails.
Okay.
Which for me is a very stressful amount, but it's actually down from where I was at. I think I was at like 527 right after CES. And I was like, you're an inbox zero person, it sounds like too. So you know the feeling.
That's horrible. Yeah.
I was like hyperventilating. I was like, and like, I mean, we can like, I have a lot of, I've come up with some systems.
Okay.
I have ideas about how I want to be pitched, but it's a situation in there.
Okay. So let's talk about subject lines and then we'll get into how you like to be pitched. You actually gave us a couple of subject lines.
I did.
Yes. Including, I gotta pick my favorites because they're just so interesting. Ring in a meow year of fun with cat amazing! Samples available! Okay. Then we also have press release. Kate Middleton's beauty secret quote: Botox in the bottle quote end quote is conquering the world, #1 on Amazon US. And then we also have this one here. Hi from May, fellow Marooner! Did any of these warrant your opening?
Only one did.
Okay, which one?
Hi from May, fellow Marooner. It is actually the intro email from May Huang at Highwire PR, who I now work with all the time.
Okay.
The other two did not merit my opening my email, and they made me so depressed and angry.
So let's go into, why does the one Hi from May work
So why it worked for me, I got a lot of intro emails around this time. And there was something about her approach in the subject line that felt incredibly casual.
Yeah. I'll say, yeah.
And I really liked that because I was getting a lot of stuff that was very like, so great to meet you at Yahoo Finance. Here are 12 pitches. And I was like, and it was the kind of thing at the beginning I was, candidly, I think, I don't know if journalists talk, I don't know how you talk to a lot of journalists. So I wonder what you have to say about this, but I will certainly get overwhelmed with all of, especially the really formal stuff, especially the really long.
Oh, yes.
And she was so casual. She was like, yeah, I also went to nerd school. And we just kind of, and I was like, yeah, I'll spend 15 minutes on the phone with this person. It seems like I waste time and learn something about what she does and who she represents. I really respond to, it's interesting. I think I actually did listen to a couple of the podcasts and it seemed like a lot of people were very, very like, I want it straightforward, clean, clarity.
Yes.
I'm a little, that doesn't necessarily work for me depending on what it is. Unless it's a killer pitch and it's exactly what I need at that exact moment. If you're trying to build a relationship with me or you want to just see what I'm up to, a little casualness actually does go far with me. A little bit of like, I think that first, she's someone who I talk to a lot. And whenever I need somebody in cybersecurity, for example, she's the first person I go to. And the first conversation we ever had, I think, was about literary translation. And
nothing
a little
to do with the pitch, I'm sure.
Yeah, nothing to do with anything. But I really liked that she let me in on how she thinks about the stuff she thinks about outside of work and how it informs her approach to PR. I think I'm really attracted to original thinkers and people who I can see as collaborators in some way. And I think that's why that worked. I picked that one actually because it started a long, fruitful relationship and is kind of unassuming.
Yes. Very casual, just very fun.
Yeah. I love that.
Now let's go into how you like to be pitched. We gathered casually, not too proper, it sounds like, but what else would you say?
Oh yeah, no, there's an air of casualness I like. I would also say a couple of things. The first is that I am a sucker for formatting.
Oh.
Like a really well formatted. Oh,
yes.
like you know what I'm talking about, Beck. You've seen those like beautifully formatted pitches.
Yes.
Like where like everything is exactly in its place and it's like you've got a couple things bolded, you've got like the
link is correct. Yes.
I just love them. They make me so happy. The order Muppet, and like there's a theory like out there in the internet verse about that everyone's an order Muppet or a chaos Muppet.
Yes.
My inner order Muppet just like sings.
Loves it.
Lives for it. So casualness, formatting. I would say the other thing.
Now those I would even say though are a little counter, but you do like the format with the casualness. See?
Yeah, I think maybe what I want is slightly contradictory in a turn of events. Yeah. I'm sure you've never heard anything like that before.
Yeah, right.
No, I really love when someone comes to me, hey, Allie, read your story, thought this was really cool. I actually do have a pitch for you, and like gives me like really quickly everything that I would need to know. Which brings me to the thing that is really important. Super long emails with giant blocks of text. No. I'm not going to deal with it. No, I will look at it, and unless it's someone I already know, or again, it's something that's finger to the pulse of the moment, exactly what I needed that given day, because so much of my life is structured around breaking news. Yes. I'm not going to answer it. Giant chunk of text is just another thing in my inbox that exists to stress me out in my lizard brain. So I think length does matter. Like the really long pitches are rough for me, which is I think part of the reason why those emails I was getting at the beginning, at the top with Yahoo were so hard, because I was like, oh my God, there's so many different things in here. My brain, I have too many messages coming in at any given time to properly sift through this. Does that make sense?
Yes. Everyone is overloaded, but yeah.
Yeah, everyone is overloaded. And I think just like the way in which I'm particularly overloaded and the way my brain works, it means that, giant long chunks of text from people I don't know with things that aren't quite relevant to me even if I should
No.
give it a second look, I won't get the chance to because my brain will have already moved on. So I think that's kind of the big stuff. I will say I love really kind of off-kilter ideas or sources that people are like, I don't know what this is a fit for, but it's kind of interesting.
Ooh, do you have an example?
There's a pitch I haven't responded to that I have pinned in my inbox. I wonder if it's one of the ones I sent you.
Ooh, let me see. I got my little list.
It's about the Apple Watch Ultra.
Oh, it's finally a real dive computer.
Yeah, about whether
Would you like an expert opinion?
Yeah, I was like, I remember looking at that. That's actually pinned to the top of my inbox because I haven't had time to get to it. But it's a really interesting question about it asks inherently a really interesting question about Apple products, which is they can do the basic stuff, but when push comes to shove, when you're scuba diving, does it work?
60 feet under. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I think there's something really compelling about that, especially since I won't bore you with the excruciating details of this, but Apple's emergency notification feature is going to be satellite based. They don't actually fully have that quite as locked down as they'd like to think.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, it's more complicated than it was presented as, is what I would say. And I think there's a lot of Apple's so good at marketing. They make things seem sexy and easy and you could go. But in the end, I think taking a minute and saying, does this really work with these, especially as they get into more niche areas, whether it's women's health, diving, right? It's important that we actually ask, I think, some of these questions. And I found that really compelling. I also think, AI, I'm really conceptual in case you haven't figured this out. I'm very abstract. I really like abstract ideas that are brought to earth and really made to matter by current events. And when someone will have a source like that or something like that, I find it really exciting. I have this one AI source who was connected to me actually through a colleague of May's, Maggie.
Oh, they're back to May.
Back to May. And she's actually someone who used to study medieval history and is now medieval history or literature. I don't want to get it wrong. I won't say who it is because I'm not sure if I got it right or if she's okay with saying as much. But she has an incredibly interesting take on AI and why we're afraid of it. And I ended up featuring it in one of my stories because I was just like, that's so no one else is saying.
No one else isn't done. Yeah.
Again, without taking you too far down here. Her thing is that she really believes that part of the reason we're so afraid AI is going to take our jobs is because we have this long literary, historical, mythological lineage of being afraid of our creations replacing us, whether that's Pinocchio or Frankenstein. And I just find it, I found that to be kind of deep.
Oh, deep. Right? Yes.
Yeah, we're going to be kind of deep. And I was like, this is going to shock you. I was a literature nerd in high school. I know no one can believe it, but speak to kind of, which is kind of, maybe I should say my background before going to journalism school. I studied theater in college. So theater and performance theory, I wanted to be a theater director and academic. So anyone who can bring kind of some of these more abstract, theoretical, but profound ideas is going to be a good source for me. Maybe not today, maybe not immediately, because a lot of my sources are the people you'd expect. They're analysts, they're CEOs, they're cybersecurity experts, you name it. But the ones I think in many cases, will hold on to the closest are the people who think about these things in a way that not everybody else is. Does that make sense? That was a very long.
Yes. No, but kind of, I hope people are gathering kind of who's on your thought leadership roster that could be of help. I'm thinking of I just watched this movie, After Yang, which I don't know if you saw that, but is a very positive look and touching, actually, lens of AI. And basically Yang is this, what they call techno-sapien. And it is like a human, but it's a bot. And now it has feelings though. And it has this whole thing. Oh God, it's kind of tragic. But I just, it's the opposite of Ex Machina, which is just out to kill you. Right. And
I should watch. Where did you watch it? What was
it? I watched it with my fiance. We bought it off Amazon. After
Oh my
Yang.
God.
Yes. Yes.
Amazon.
Yes. Yes.
Which you're actually like getting at the thing. I haven't seen it, but you're implying at the
Colin Farrell's in it, by the way.
Oh,
That's what I was like,
really?
yes.
He was also really good in Banshees of Inisherin.
Yes, I know. I was like, he's been busy this last year.
Colin Farrell's getting around.
He is. Yeah, you should watch it. You should watch it.
Yeah, I'd totally watch that because it actually gets at the thing that I do love the most about tech. And I think it's the reason, I've done a bunch of other beats, but I think the reason I'll stay with tech for a very long time is because it's so existential.
I know.
So quickly goes to questions of life and death.
Yes.
Like what it means to add value, what it means for something to be authentic. It really is, again, like I'm pretty abstract and philosophical, but tech at its heart is so abstract and philosophical.
Oh, yes.
Like even the stuff with chat, like part of the reason, I'm so excited about AI right now is Yahoo jumped on the bandwagon. When ChatGPT exploded, they were like, okay, Allie, go do some coverage. Let's see if people read it.
I bet were just voracious.
They did. Oh my gosh. I'd actually been building AI sources for months back because I was like, this is going to be a moment. I can feel it. It's going to happen.
Yes. Yes.
And AI is like, I'm someone who's like prone to anthropomorphizing things, like generally speaking. Like I'll be like, oh, ChatGPT, you're so cute. Like what? That's insane. But I think like, part of the reason I'm so excited about AI right now is because it burst into the public consciousness. It became something we could cover, and it deals so directly with all these questions. Like even if you read the comments back, there are always things like, AI is going to take all our jobs, or AI is going to kill us all, like in 2001 A Space Odyssey. And it's like, what? Like, I feel like tech coverage, in the end, this is the bottom line, Beck. Tech coverage, if you had to sum it up, it can often be that escalated quickly.
Oh, yeah. No, tech coverage, the end of the world.
Oh, yeah. This is like the world's ending. This is how great. Good talk.
Yep.
So I guess like which kind of like there's the formatting stuff, but in the end, like as you can tell, the things I'm really excited by are ideas.
Yes.
I love chasing breaking news. I used to be an M&A reporter, so I love chasing deals. But the story I find that I'm the most proud of, the most excited about, and frankly the most willing to fight for are the ones that are kind of intellectual scoops almost.
Yes. Okay.
Today's interview will continue after this brief message brought to you by OnePitch. Are you curious to see the unique ways OnePitch helps PR professionals and marketers pitch journalists? Head to onepitch.co to learn about our new OnePitch score and see how easy it is to find the right journalist to pitch your news to. Sign up for your free account today. Now, back to today's episode.
Now you're hinting at one of my next things, which is exclusives or embargoes. Do you like both? Do you like one over the other?
Oh man.
What would you say? What's a true exclusive to you? So on and so on.
I am going to level with you. I love being told that something's an embargo. Mm-hmm. However, when it comes to the word exclusive, unless I really trust that person, I don't believe them. I have been burned a couple of times before.
Yeah.
And like when I'll see an exclusive in an email, that's not going to make me open it. Me personally, it's highly unlikely, especially if I don't know you, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to believe you're just bringing me an exclusive. Because I mean,
interesting.
Yeah. I know that's like totally savage, but I've had some like really bad experiences, and it's the kind of thing that I'll like look at it. They'll be like, this is an exclusive I'm offering you. And I'll be like, I know I want to believe you, but I don't.
Yeah.
That said, embargo information, always, yes, absolutely. I never want to violate an embargo accidentally. I have nightmares about it. So,
great.
Yeah, no,
got it.
Yes. Okay. Embargo information in bold, 10 out of 10. Exclusive, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love someone to make me believe again. But like, I love, it's like when people talk about dating, it's like, I'd really just like someone to make me believe in the power of exclusives.
The one. Yeah. Oh God.
But that said, like if another person who's like, I forget how our relationship even started with Kristen Stiles at Qualcomm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. She's amazing. I adore her. She is like one of those people.
Shout out to Kristen, old BAM person. Yep.
Love Kristen. She does amazing work, but she also is she's like one of the few people who I like at this point know.
Yeah.
that if she brings me an exclusive, she freaking means it. Like,
Yes.
and actually everybody at Qualcomm is like that. They're all absolutely lovely and do a fantastic job. But like, no, and like there are a couple people that if they bring me a good exclusive, I know they mean it. But if you're just like if you're sitting out there right now and you're like, God, I'd love to give Allie Garfinkle an exclusive, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, let's define the exact
exclusive?
terms.
Yes. Define the terms of an exclusive to me.
Correct. Yes. Let's get it precise right now.
When someone says, I'm pretty much a stickler about the definition of exclusive. When someone says, and again, this is probably how I've gotten burned, but my conception of it has always been, this is something that you are telling me and only me until the news is released at said date.
Yes.
You are not running around telling 12 other people. You
Some
are not.
Portion.
Yes, you are. This is something that is actually, in many cases, a secret until it is not a secret.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
My favorite are when someone will be like, exclusive, and there will already be a story that's essentially the same in the New York Times. And I'm like, they're like, but it's this new piece of information. And I'll be like, no, you essentially gave the story to the New York Times, and now you're trying to pretend to me that you're giving me the story. And
it's really unfortunate.
I have Google. Like, it's that simple. I hate to break it to you guys. I have Google. I know I'm a tech reporter. This is crazy. It drives me crazy. For me, to bring it all full circle, for me, what it means is something that is truly a secret that you're truly bringing to me. If you've brought it to someone else, I expect you to tell me. And, candidly, it's something that's really high value, because the truth is the bar for an exclusive that's of value to Yahoo Finance is incredibly high. Like, it's got to be something. It's got to be IPO news, right? It's got to be something that's going to make a market move potentially, or it has to
make a market move. That's the bar.
Yeah, and I assume most of the people we're talking to are people at agencies. Like, if I'm talking to Amazon or Meta, it's kind of a different story. But like stuff that it's really, maybe someday I'll believe in exclusives again, Beck. I don't know.
Okay, we'll see.
I don't believe in the cold exclusive. Maybe at some point I will shift on that. I reserve the right to change my mind.
Yes,
but I
of
think
course,
if someone said to me, I want to give you this exclusive, but need to know by X time, that's fine, actually. Because then we're setting up timelines, we're setting up expectations, and I don't
be clear.
Yes, exactly. That's one of the ways in which clarity is incredibly helpful to me personally.
Okay, everybody. I hope everyone is very clear on what we just heard.
Clear. Do not, if you honestly, like, I do have like, but everybody has like labels in their Gmail. One of my labels is ignoring.
Yes.
People who fake exclusives to me get sent to that folder. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh, you don't want to be in that folder.
Yeah. You don't, I mean, if you do, maybe you do want to be in that folder. I don't know, but
why? You're wasting your time.
Yeah. I really, I used to be somebody who wanted to answer everybody and be inbox zero. Again, something that's also that also is contradictory probably. But I've started to realize as my life is controlled by the breaking news of giant companies, I just have less time, and it means I have less patience. And I feel bad for being such a hardo about it, but like,
it's a boundary.
For me, it's really a hard boundary.
Yeah, it's a boundary.
Yeah, it's a boundary. Exactly.
And I think that's great. Great. That's the point of this show. Okay. Now we have an audience ask. Oh, I love these. Okay. Adolfo,
I was kind of nervous.
I know. Adolfo Salgueiro, I hope I'm saying his name right, from Cavechi Properties asked, it is obvious that the best pitch is deeply personalized and researched, but many times you need to pitch to multiple outlets simultaneously. How likely are you to consider a pitch that is not just for you? Adolfo, okay. How likely are you to consider a pitch that... So, okay, I guess if you were to get, Allie, where you're like, okay, it's not personalized, but it's good. Like, it's something I want. Will you still respond?
It's got to be really good.
It's got to be real good. Yeah.
It's got to be real good. It's got to be like, like running around the house. Oh my God, I can't believe someone just emailed me this good. Like I know that's like an insane image, but like I have actually done that a couple of times.
Yes. Okay. Make her
Hasn't not many, but it has happened in my career where I've been like, yes, exactly.
Oh, I love it.
You know, I might be slightly contradictory here. It's complicated. The answer is if it's like high X, blah, 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 I'm going to be like, no. But if it's someone because there's something in the middle, right? There's something that's like, I had to send this to 12 people, but also you were one of the 12 people I chose for a reason. And like for me, I actually am not necessarily averse to the idea of a pitch that someone else has got, especially if there's a new spin on it, or especially if it's something that's really in my wheelhouse. That said, the spray and pray thing, I don't know who told everybody this works. It's never worked for me, ever. So the thing in the middle, I think there is a chance I will respond to, where it's like this, I had to send this to 5 people, but you were one of the 5 people I chose, and here's why. And it's really clear why I'm the person they chose. Totally send it my way. But if you're just like sending me stuff like about Kate Middleton's Botox, like,
I know
I can't do anything for you, and you're going in the ignoring folder.
Oh,
it's not gonna work out between us. But like,
and it's not personal. It's just it's not gonna work.
And it's the funny thing, because I know, exercise and empathy, right? Like I now have enough folks that I spend a lot of time with and who are in PR, and you've gotta send stuff to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
I don't envy your jobs at all. It seems like it's like walking a tightrope in a very different way than I do, where there's also a lot of overlap. But I think in answer to your question, Adolfo, I hope I'm saying your name correctly.
Yes.
If there is a reason that you sent it to me among other people, there is absolutely a chance I will answer if it's a good fit.
Okay.
However, if there's not a good fit, there's almost zero chance. I'm sorry.
There you go.
It's gonna be, I'll look at it, I'll delete it, I'll move on with my life. I aspire to inbox zero, and answering everything is not the road to inbox zero.
Yeah. Good point. Okay. I think we covered that. Hopefully. Okay. Now, Allie, I have a fun little rapid fire questions.
Sure.
This is fun. A or B.
All right.
And then we're going to wrap up. So here we go. Okay.
All right.
Video or phone interviews?
Video.
Bullet points or paragraphs?
Bullet points. I love
the format is good.
Format.
Okay. Short or long pitches?
Short.
Images attached or Dropbox zip file?
Dropbox zip file.
Pitches in the morning or at night?
Oh, morning.
Email or Twitter DM?
Email. Twitter DM, like I don't take answering those as seriously as I should. It's really bad.
One follow-up or multiple?
One. I understand why multiple follow-ups exist, but if we don't know each other, they're going to get annoying fast.
Direct or creative subject lines? I think we covered that.
Creative. Every time. Give me if you give me like a crazy but relevant subject line, there's like a high chance of an answer. Like I'll be like, oh, this was weird. I want to know more. The other thing.
Weird. Bring it on.
Bring it on. Weird, let's go. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
This is good. Press release or media kit?
Press release.
Okay.
Press release. I'll ask if I want the media kit.
Okay. That's good. Allie, we have come to the end here. Do you have anything to promote or that you want to share? How can we support you, basically?
Oh, gosh. I would say if you haven't pitched us before, we have, as I said at the beginning, we have a really interesting audience, and every story is not a Yahoo Finance story, but the ones that are really can shine, for lack of a better way of phrasing it. Like I've done so many stories that were so specific that really could have only been done by our outlet within reason. And, they've soared, and some of them are kind of silly. I've done some product stories that were kind of interesting, but and then some of them are like these like deep, thoughtful labor pieces. Like I did a piece on an investigation on Google's raters, like literally raters, like RATERS, and their who literally are teaching our search algorithm. And in some cases, they were until recently could be paid as low as $10 an hour. Not anymore. They actually did just get a pay raise, which is really nice.
Oh.
No, our audience is really special. And I'd say for me, in terms of things to promote, honestly, big tech earnings are coming up.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like Q4 big tech earnings are my Super Bowl, but it's like not that far. So if you have if you're out there listening and you have some kind of resources to sound off on tech earnings, I'd be really interested, because I think it's a more important time than ever to really contextualize what's happening at tech companies, not just like societally, but actually in the market, because they're coming off such an incredibly difficult year. So yeah, that's what I would say. Only other thing I would say actually, because you pitch me and I never answered doesn't mean I'll never get back to you. There have been cases where I searched my email for something I desperately needed and found it. So last thing, just because I don't answer doesn't mean I may not someday. And if you're interested in pitching me, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I love it. Well, thanks, Allie. What a great way to end it.
Oh my God, of course. Thank you for having me.
How fun. I love it when it's like, thank you for pitching me. How wonderful.
Yeah, no, honestly.
Oh my gosh. Allie, and just as you said that, look, there's a little rainbow outside my window right now.
No, actually, I'm
just a little faint one. Just a little faint one, but it's there. I'm going to take a picture of it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Perfect. Yeah, no, honestly, like I still think what I do is just about as cool as it gets. And the fact that I whine about my inbox, but the fact that there are so many people interested in Yahoo and is incredibly flattering and like so exciting for me. And I really appreciate it. If I haven't answered your pitches, but you're interested in pitching me, thank you anyway.
There you go.
Probably.
I love it.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Coffee with a Journalist featuring Allie Garfinkle from Yahoo Finance. For more exclusive insights about the journalists on this podcast, subscribe to our weekly podcast newsletter at onepitch.co/podcast. We'll see you next week with even more insights about the journalists you want to learn more about. Until then, start great stories.